Hey, what it do? What the business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV podcast. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown. If you're looking for me on Instagram and Twitter.
I am Spike Lou in them same social streets, holding it down in the podcast game. How was your week, buddy?
Some mid. I didn't really do shit. I was chilling. It was raining. It was like a flood watch down here in the A. This shit was crazy.
It was a real ugly hurricane season is amongst us. Did you early vote?
I tried to. The line was, I don't know, 3-4 hours long. I'm not going to be able to do it.
Christ.
I'll come back toward the middle of the early voting, and we'll try this again.
Let's just do the mail-in. You ain't fucking with that?
Oh, shit, I could do the mail-in. I ain't really thinking about it.
Man, you just mail it, motherfucker. I don't think it's too late. You need to go online and do that.
I might do that, dude. Shit.
Yeah.
That line ain't
get you
jumping.
in there. No, I'm not waiting in that line. Definitely not. I was looking for the VIP in the free voting line. Can I get to the front, please? And thank you. Come on with it. It's another week in the books, the On Deck TV podcast, man. What we got on deck for this week?
Yeah, man, action-packed week. Master P gets criticized. My boy, they trying to come at my boy for his new cereal. We'll talk about that. Also, Killer Mike is putting his money where his mouth is. And we got a special album covers episode breaking down our favorite album covers. And also diving and going into a deep dive of album covers, period, and kind of what they mean to the culture and the game even today.
Facts.
But first, Kendrick Lamar, we're talking K-Dot again. He recently deleted all of his posts, except for one about his new entertainment company, PG Lang, prompting rumors to spread that he was leaving TDE to release music exclusively on that PG Lang imprint. Now, TDE president, Top Dog, and even Kendrick himself took to social media to address the rumors as false. My question, do you believe that there's truth to the Kendrick TDE departure rumors?
Absolutely not. I think that because Kendrick Lamar isn't an attention whore like his peers, then people have to manufacture stories to talk about. They'll look for clues like his video shoot where he's standing by a payphone. They'll look for tweets that aren't there, indescript coded messages that they see all over Twitter. And they say, hey, Kendrick Lamar's leaving TDE because this guy started TDE and he's disgruntled and Kendrick's coming with him. Sounds fantastic for a Fox series. It's great. If we write an empire. I just don't think that, and I can reference the story that Kendrick told on Damn of how he and Top Dog are acquainted. This is a lot deeper than label stuff. And I don't think that we would get news of Kendrick leaving, not to say that it's impossible. He's not leaving via a secret message and going to do work with the guy who is Dave May, I believe his name, who's beefing with Dave Free, who's beefing with TDE over some other shit. I just don't think that he's doing Top Dog like that.
I'm not sure if he's leaving either, but I did think it was suspicious for both of them to address it, considering that this didn't even come from a reputable source. Like, it was, by all accounts, just speculation that somebody ran with because he deleted all his posts and left that one post. So somebody was like, oh shit, you know how when a player deletes, pictures from his team, it's like, oh shit, he wants to be traded. It's like, what? Whoa.
Giannis did that after this season. He unfollowed all of the Bucks or some shit like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, whoa, like, okay, like that it's just speculation. But Top Dog is fairly present on social media. So he tweets and he does his thing all the time. That doesn't really surprise me. Kendrick is a hermit. Like, so for him to come out and do his little video with the little Blues Clues doll, I don't know what the fuck that was about. I thought that was very interesting. They might, for the first time, and I know we talked about this a couple of episodes back, they might be feeling the pressure that everybody is waiting on something and they haven't put it out, and maybe they're working on something and it's not connected. Maybe the music ain't hitting like they think it's supposed to hit. Like, maybe they're up against the ropes, because I thought that their response spoke more volumes than the rumor itself.
Up against the ropes from what?
Pressure of people like, yo, where's the music at? And because normally they don't address shit like that, though, bro. They don't address if Top Dog and Kendrick and A-list artists, whoever, addressed every rumor about them, bro, they wouldn't have time to rap, dude.
Well, it's not every rumor. I think the source, not even the source being reputable, but the story being believable because of the guy's association, Dave's association with TDE. And again, because it is so quiet, I don't think that has anything to do with the music or anything to do with beef. I think it's just like people, especially nowadays in this news cycle that we live in there. And I was being facetious when I said media whores about his
Right.
peers, but Kendrick lets the music speak for him. And whether people hate it or love it, that's just how it is. And the moment that you start to, people start to speculate and, oh, what's going on? What's going on? I think that now going into his fifth album, you can't just address it like it was going into your first or second, or if it was damn or something like it. Like you do have to, since you're so quiet, say something. But I don't think there's trouble in paradise.
I don't know, man. They say where there's smoke, there's fire.
Ah, damn
You
it.
never know. Would you be
I
shocked if this time next year his album, or what if he just put out? Let's say he put out his new album on TDE and then he put out some bullshit greatest hits to get out of his contract. And this time next year he's dropping a debut on PG Lang. Like you wouldn't be surprised, bro.
no 5 records in. It's time. Like
You
Kendrick
just said it's
Lamar is
deep
a
in the
big,
rap though.
yeah, but it is. But Kendrick Lamar is also a big enough star as to where he has to grow. Like I know Top Dog ain't gonna be like forever. I want you to be TDE. Like he has to take the logical steps for a rap superstar to make more bread. And that's gonna
True.
be more than rapping on TDE. So if it happens, I definitely can see it happen, but I just don't see it happening this way. I think it'll be a more cordial split. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be with this guy that used to be beefing with Top, and like they got some going on and they fell out on bad terms, Dave and Top Dog. So I don't think Kendrick's siding with a nigga like that.
I heard Kendrick owns a little bit of TDE. That's what I heard.
I could see that.
A little percentage, a little
Much
something.
money as he done made them, I could see that.
Yeah,
That ain't
that'd
that
be
ain't a bad
smart.
move at all. That ain't a bad move at all. Moving on, it seems like every week, man, we're talking about new television shows being premiered. Your man's big boy Andre Patton. It's not Andre. What is it? Andre? Is that his name? Patton. I know his
Yeah.
name Patton. But he is executive producing a brand new show called Government Records. Government Records, and we'll talk about what it's about here lately. But my question to you is, from the information you have on Government Records and Big Boy's background, is this something that you're looking to see?
Let's give some context as to what the hell government records is. All right. This is straight from their little press release. Quote: Government records is about two ATF officials who are trying to catch a crime ring overseen by a 90s hip hop star. The agents go undercover as musicians as they team up with the FBI and the Atlanta PD to catch the perps. End quote. It's supposed to be a mix between Empire and Get Shorty. Okay. Now, with that being said, there's only one thing that makes this must see TV, and that is if Big Boy is acting in it. If he's acting in it, I'm absolutely tuned in. Super underrated. He steals everything that he's been in. ATL, Superfly, even Hoosier Caddy, even that bullshit he was funny in
I don't
too.
believe he was
So
in Hoosier
Big Boy
Academy.
is made for the TV screen. I'm surprised he hasn't done more shit. Good for him being behind the scenes, getting the behind the scenes bag, but please, he got to be a reoccurring character at least, if not a main character. I'm tuning in if he's a main character.
That's a fact. He definitely has to be on the show if it's going to be any good.
Facts.
Must see though, absolutely not. And here's the reason why. We've came across different ideas from Tales,
True.
this, uh,
Empire.
Empire. Like those are fucking great ideas,
True.
but the execution is always some slaw. Like I flat out say it, and the reason being, I feel like if you come, I watched the guy's press release who's behind this, the white guy,
Yeah.
and I feel like if it makes it to Andre, then Andre needs to take the baton and keep running it up the ladder. Not let me give you $1 million to make it and it could be okay. And I'm tied to a pretty decent story. Nigga, take that shit to Miramax. Nigga, use your connections to make that motherfucker right. Like 50 is doing with the BMF tail, like the shit that Irv Gotti did, this shit right here, that shit that we talked about that's gonna have a vampire hip hop. Like, man, make these shits better for the culture. Don't just put that shit out to put your name on it, man. We want to see good shit. Like, I
Yeah.
want to see a good hip hop show. Like Power was okay. Like it tried.
True.
I
Yeah.
get the vein that it was trying in, but I want something even better than that. Even this show, the government records thing, man. You throw this shit on A&E, man. It's like some Breaking Bad type shit.
If you can get
Work
it
this
right.
out. Yeah, if you can get this right, you get the right writers in here. You work this out for 5 seasons. You got these niggas undercover with the rap group, man. That shit could be gold. But the previews that I seen and this nigga that I seen talking about it, that white man, and like, man, get this shit out of here. Mail that shit to Tyler Perry. Let that nigga make this shit. But man, it just needs to be some type of group or some people that could take this shit and make it like the quality that like TV connoisseurs look for and like. Like it can't just be all because it's black people on there, Empire Power, that we're gonna watch it and accept that it's bullshit. Nah, nigga, I want this shit to be good.
I agree. I
That's my
agree.
soapbox on that.
I need to know what the tone is for this right here. You telling me it's a mix of Empire and Get Shorty?
First of all, we're not even starting there. Like you can't even sell shit to me telling me it's Empire and Get Shorty.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely not, bro.
Yeah, you 0 for 2 with that. I'm cool on both of those. So I need to know the tone. This is some silly shit because that's what throws me off. I remember when Empire first got announced. I was like, oh, okay, like you said, it sounded good. Then you watch it and like the tone is off for me. I was like, nah, this is like some soap opera shit. Like, nah, I'm good on this. I remember when Love and Hip Hop got announced and the way it was described was one thing. And then you watch it and it's a reality TV housewives shit. I was like, man, like, so I'm let down constantly, dude. Yeah, that should be some slaw. I need somebody to get busy. I get it. Black people are cool right now. We're in. It's hot. So you want to jump on the latest wave and get black lead characters, and that's cool. All of that. Just make some quality shit, bro. Like you said, that can last 5-6 seasons, go down in history on some classic shit, man. Like quit giving us the basic ball, man.
Make that. I think people facts. I think people tying shit just want to tie their name to shit to say they did a movie as opposed to making that shit good. Make that shit quality, nigga. I don't care if you executive produced that hot garbage. Oh, what I was about to say. Did you see the preview for this shit?
No, I did. I didn't see that.
Oh my god! Did you watch the interview for the dude that was pitching it, like the executive producer?
I just read
all of that shit is trash. It looks almost like a parody, dude. Like something Saturday Night Live would pitch, and it was awful. Like I can't even describe to you how bad it was. As far as like, I'll send you the video. That shit was trash.
That's a letdown, man. Because Big Boy is hilarious, dog. Like he needs to be on something. Like somebody, please ASAP. Get a hold of him. Some director out here, get a hold of him and put him in something immediately. Dude is he gold on TV.
Big facts.
Man. Big facts. Moving on, man. Let's talk TDE again. All right, 2 TDEs this episode. Reason, rapper on TDE, is fresh off the release of his debut album, New Beginnings. There's a song on there called Fall that's got Mac Miller fans outraged. The song referenced Mac by saying, quote, "Look, you want to be an artist? Well, we're going to turn you into an addict. Get rid of the niggas you got on with, then give you the tools to dig your own shit. A couple of cars, some jewelry, make your stacks bigger. That way, one day you could be the next Mac Miller. Here's your chance, sign here, nigga." End quote. Those are the bars. Mac Miller fans were super hot. They took it as a diss to the late rapper. Was his bars taken out of context?
I don't think they were taken out of context. I think the Reason did exactly what he was trying to do as far as spark controversy with his lyrics. I think he's coming from that school of Game, 50 Cent in that era where I'm going to say whatever it is, because even on his single, he name dropped a couple of people. As I mentioned it as my put on a couple of weeks ago, he was name dropping a couple of names, and not in any bad sense, but in the sense of just name dropping people where people will talk about it. I don't think that Mac Miller fans or people that are criticizing for him are in the wrong, because as Reason probably knew when he was making this, people were going to talk about it and respond. And as an artist, I think that's what you're looking for. More people are talking about Reason now than they have been before, unfortunately, but he makes great music. So I'm glad that people are starting to pay attention. Unfortunately, it was at the mercy of a Mac Miller bar that people think was in bad taste. I don't personally think it was in bad taste. This is rap. Like he wasn't telling a lie. If he was shitting on Mac Miller's name in that verse or something of that nature, okay, there you got a point. but he's just keeping it real. He's doing what rappers do. I'm supposed to be painting a true picture and telling you a story. And everything that he said in that little 4 to 6 bars that you said right there, that's true. That's the game. And he's trying to prevent people from falling into that.
Yeah, no, first of all, that's my favorite song on the album. The song is fire.
The album is great too.
First off,
the album is great, by the way.
Yeah, I like the album too. Second off, I'm not sure what he's trying to do lately. You just mentioned it. He dissed Logic in a song that he put out there for seemingly no reason. I don't get where that necessarily came from. Now he name drops Mac, and I think he knew that this would elicit a response. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he knew that, but most importantly, he needed this. Like, this is the best thing that could have happened to his rollout, because up until this point, look, he's nice. He makes good music. He's on a reputable record label. But, bro, his album and projects have had zero buzz up until this point. Like,
he can rap.
He put a stack.
He can rap, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, he's nice with it. Like he can spit in everything, and he's talented in the whole nine, but he doesn't have an identity in the game. And so I don't know if he wants his identity to be the guy who randomly disses people in songs. Like, I don't know, but
he's trying to take over for game. I'm telling you,
that's possible. And this is a way to get buzz. This is a way to get people to hate you. It's also possibly a way to get people to love you. But do I think the line was taken out of context? I don't. I think this was taken how he intended it. Now, do I think it was disrespectful? Slightly. Because I'm not gonna, even when I heard it, I kind of thought to myself, I was like, damn, why did he say Mac Miller right there? Like, it was a little weird. And I was like, maybe did I miss something? But the first verse is a cautionary tale for female rappers about how the label will try to make you do X, Y, and Z and look like this. And then the second verse was a cautionary tale of male rappers and how they'll make you look like this and da-da-da-da. I just thought it was in poor taste using Mac Miller as the example out of all of the rappers who have ever rapped. I thought that was a little strange. Maybe he had nobody else to rhyme with it, man. Like it
don't do
the
it
message
like
gets
that, man.
lost
He's better
when you
than
do
that.
that.
I don't think that it was I can't find anything around, but I think it was intentional. Like,
maybe so.
What's the blowback of the worst thing that's gonna happen if you do this? People are gonna talk about you. Like, nobody's gonna cancel him for this. I think he did this intentionally. Excuse me, I said reason. Yeah. I don't think that Logic thing was a diss too. That's a strong word.
No, that was a diss. He said I don't take from he said I don't take from the culture like a Logic. He said, how can you confuse me with him? I don't take from the culture. That's a diss.
Where's the lie?
No, that's a diss. I didn't say it was a lie or the truth.
See y'all. He said, "See y'all mistake my name for Logic. Y'all got me fucked up. How you compare a nigga to take from the culture versus a nigga that's for it? This shit getting boring."
That's a diss, sir. Well, but where did that come from, though? That's what I'm saying. What?
Why can't he address this as a rapper? Like, I feel like you taking from the culture, my nigga. Here, take this bar. Take these L's, my nigga. I'm not getting into that. I don't know what he meant by it. I feel the same way, but I can't speak for him. Like, but why can't he address that as a rapper? He's an artist. He meant to, like, okay, he go a bar. You mad? Go in the booth, rap.
Because it seems like you're reaching for people who are perceived to be more successful. It seems like you clout chasing, bro. Because Logic is on a different realm than he is.
Like, you don't. I promise you don't get no clips in the hood for dissing Logic.
No, but you get clout on the internet, bro. Nobody does shit for the hood no more. They do it for the internet.
He's not looking for internet clout, though. He's just trying to sell records and get people to talk about him. It ain't clout that he's looking for, so it's not a diss. I'm just telling you how I feel. You ain't got to take it a certain kind of way. I'm not dissing you. I'm just keeping it real. And my keeping it real telling me, his keeping it real is saying, hey, my nigga, you stealing from the culture. You got a problem with it? Go in the booth and prove me wrong.
Yeah, so
it ain't no
Logic,
fight shit.
So Logic can say your name in front of his 3 million Twitch followers, and then they go listen to your record. That's clout chasing. Bro.
Or ignore me. You can ignore me. Like, Logic ain't that much of a bigger artist than, like, these niggas is in the same class, if we being honest. Like as far as rap skills and artist level.
I ain't talking about skill. I ain't talking about skills though. I'm just talking about
skill level.
Yeah, well, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about in terms of fan base. He's way bigger than him.
Yeah, because he's a plant. He's an industry plant.
He may be. I don't fucking know.
Naturally, he's bigger than him because he's an industry player. But y'all ain't got no problem with it, man. Like, hey, you swing your nuts, man. Young nigga trying to make his name for himself in this rap game. I ain't mad at that, man. Keep dissing these niggas, man.
Do it with skill and talent, man. Leave the clout shit alone.
I don't believe that. My uncle, Master P, Percy Miller, the last quick hit before we get out of here and get into our favorite album covers, man. Uncle P is back at it again. He's a retail mogul, as we all know. He is being criticized for pushing more unhealthy food on top of the wrap snacks and the oodles and noodles that we talked about on here earlier. He is now hitting the hood with the sugar-coated hootie hoos. My question to you is the criticism for Master P fair or foul for this unhealthy snacks that he's providing the hood?
It's foul, man. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people complaining about what P got going on. And listen, I'm
You were a
standing by P
vegetarian
on
at
this
one
one.
point, right?
Excuse
Just
me?
that the people, for the record, you were a vegetarian at one point for the people, right?
For sure.
You wanted healthy food in your life.
That doesn't just because you're a
I'm, I,
vegetarian don't mean it's
am just
healthy.
asking a question. I saw. I just asked
Nah,
a
just because you're a
question.
vegetarian or you vegan don't mean that you're eating healthy though.
I said you specifically wanted
I
healthy
just didn't
food
want to
in
eat
your
meat.
life, but you wanted to be healthier.
I didn't want to eat meat.
Nigga, you wanted to be healthier. Yes or
Nigga,
no?
Oreos are vegan friendly, nigga. That don't mean
I
they
ain't asking
healthy.
you none of that. I'm asking you, were you trying to be healthy when you were a vegan?
No, I was trying not to eat meat. That was the purpose.
You're lying. You're
I'm
lying
dead
on
ass
those. But go ahead.
serious.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're lying. There's no way that you didn't have any health intentions when you stopped wanting to eat meat.
Slightly.
Exactly my point. But go ahead.
But
Hang on,
I'm standing by P on this. Like, he's beginning to figure this food thing out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get on the health backlash in a second. Like, when he dropped the noodles, the rap noodles, we both got on here and said, bro, you take your face off of this shit. It looks country. It just looked corny. Then he dropped the rice, the pancake mix, and the syrup. He clearly listened to our show because after that, he drops this cereal with the cartoon penguin mascots on the front, which is perfect for kids. It's no different from the fucking Toucan Sam that's on the front of Fruit Loops. That, in my opinion, is a much smarter play now in terms of the health shit. Everybody coming out of the woodwork and P, why are you putting this sugary stuff and marketing it to blacks? And bro, unless you're on the front line standing in front of General Mills, boycotting tricks, then I don't want to hear this shit about why P is putting out something with sugar in it, bro. Like, stop the fucking madness. Robert Johnson said this best. Bob Johnson, who started BET, he said this best on an interview he did with How I Built This. They asked him about the backlash that he got from the community about some of the stuff that was on BET. And he said that a lot of blacks move as a collective. And if you, as a black person, come out and put something out there that is different from what the collective or is perceived as going against the collective, and in his case being music videos with scantily clad women and all of that shit, if you do something that goes against the collective, then you're looked at as someone who is kind of going against the movement that the collective is perceived to be making. This is the exact same thing what people are saying about P, because it's perceived to be unhealthy, yet no one is coming at the big dog General Mills and Kellogg's and all. Nobody's coming after them for having these types of cereals on the market for 50 years. The thing that's killing people real quick, it's not one bowl of fucking cereal, dude. It's eating a sugary bowl of cereal in the morning, snacking on chips in between lunch. Then at lunch, you're going to get 2 double stacks from Wendy's with a fucking shake. And then for dinner, you're getting a Big Mac supersized with a McFlurry. You do that Monday through Sunday, and then you will kill yourself. It is not on one box of fucking cereal. So people need to chill out, stop exaggerating on this one damn product that he's pushing. And if you don't want to buy it, then don't fucking buy it. Don't hate on the next man because he look like you, because that's what it sound like.
That's a little much.
Soapbox done. I'm off.
What I would say for Master P, and this goes way back beyond the cereal and the noodles and the chips and the fucking Miyagi shoes and the ugly ass clothes. If Master P had a more original idea, then he wouldn't get as much flack for this. What I would say,
he's clearly biting Fruit Loops.
Absolutely, like Fruit Loops, General Mills, whatever stuff that sells in the hood, as we know, like these sugary snacks, the noodles, all that shit gonna sell. No problem with that. Where I would challenge you on what you said, and why I would challenge Master P is, why not be the person who does something different? Like one of the biggest complaints we have about them ugly ass shoes, they look like fucking Jordans, dude. Like those are
No, the hell
ugly
they don't.
knockoff. I mean, you know what he was trying to do. He tried to modify the Jordans and make them like luxurious. You could clearly tell he took the Jordan shoe model. And even like when Cash Money came out, he started saying that he was a hot boy. Like P, at some point in time, lost his flavor to be original. So everything that became hot, he tried to bite on it. Now, he could easily do this stuff that he's doing, and it's going to come with backlash because people are just more woke nowadays in 2020. So as Master P, like it would have been more lucrative for you to go the healthy route. Like who else is doing that? Like what mogul has changed the game from rap doing his own independent thing, and now I'm gonna put y'all on the healthy snacks. Now I have something on the opposite end of the Fruit Loops and the opposite end of the oodles and noodles, and I'm taking time to educate people on how to eat healthy. Like be that dude. Like don't just try to peddle this bullshit out here to us because it can make you some money. Like Master P hasn't been able to catch a fire because none of his causes have been original since he has been hot. Like he hasn't been able to spark anything like from the ground up like he did with No Limit. And these food items are a chance to do that as opposed to just falling in line to something that you think niggas are gonna buy. So yeah, he should get backlash for it because he don't need the money from this. Like he not doing this to launch his career. He ain't doing this to compete with General Mills. This is just a stream of income for you. So why can't you educate black people and make them healthier? I'm with the people on this.
No, dude, it's not his job, bro.
No, it became his job when you decided to make cereal, my nigga. If
No,
you
it
hop in the
didn't.
food game and you peddling the same bullshit that been killing my people for 50 years, then I'm gonna criticize you because you look like me. Like
It's
you
not
said, absolutely.
No,
I hold you to a higher standard, Master P, than I do
no,
General Mills. I hold
no.
you to a higher standard, Master P, than I do Ruffles and all these other people that are peddling bullshit to my people. That's just
And all of those same people who are saying that same bullshit have everything you named in their cabinet right now. It's sitting on top of that goddamn refrigerator, dude. That is what's killing me right now.
that's not
You
that
talking all this
you
shit, and
can't,
you got
but you can't
fucking king size
letting
Golden Grams box on top
why
of
are
your
you
cereal.
letting people bother you though? That shouldn't be the thing that bothers you. P is in the position to do that. People gonna be people, dude. People gonna criticize whatever scroll in front of their motherfucking screen. But if a nigga made $500 million and has the opportunity to make a change and do something differently, then fuck yeah, I'm gonna criticize him if he don't. You trying to take the same lane and just steal more money from people? Nah, nigga, do something healthy. All the criticism that he gets for this is very well warranted because he's not trying anything new.
How many millions of dollars does a nigga who own Kellogg have? What do him having $500 million
What does that
have
have
to
to
do
do
with
with
anything?
Master P, bro?
You
Like
just
you
brought
don't
up him
worry about
having
the team.
500.
You worrying about the wrong person. You can't worry about those people. We talking about Master P.
I'm
He's the one that's
providing
supposed to be doing the
competition.
thing. Huh?
It's not a monopoly, dude. They ain't got a monopoly on the cereal. I'm putting my cereal
I'm
out
not
to
speaking
go
of the
against their
series. I'm
shit.
talking
Nigga.
about people, though. You're talking about product. There's a difference in what we're talking about. You're absolutely right when you're talking about competition and these things. I'm talking about on a deeper level of people criticizing him for peddling shit that could possibly kill black people. It doesn't matter if they go buy it from General Mills. You can be that one person that's providing change. You save one person's life, you've helped us.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, listen. People need to get a grip. Stop overthinking the shit. If you don't eat sugary cereals, then he's not talking to you. He's not talking to you.
You can take it that way because you can be dismissive of things you may not care about. People care about this, dude. People care about what their kids eat. So you can't say, man, General Mills selling it, won't you go protest up the street? That's not
real.
That's not America, though. Like you can't say, well, that's like telling me, well, Donald Trump is saying fuck black people, so why can't I say it? Like that makes no sense, bro.
No, that's not.
Yeah, yes. You're saying they can do it, why can't I? Right?
No, what I'm saying is they're doing it and you're not complaining about
because they
them
don't
doing
look like
it.
me. They're a conglomerate. Master P, Master P should have the interest of black people being better. He's selling these cereal, black people.
Bro, you're not gonna die off a bowl of cereal,
black
bro.
people.
You're not gonna die off a bowl of cereal. Newsflash, people. You're not gonna die from a bowl of cereal. Contrary to popular belief online.
You're also not gonna go bankrupt from educating people on how to be healthier as opposed to peddling them shit.
That may be next. I don't know.
Start there. Why wouldn't you start there?
He doesn't have to.
You're right, and he doesn't. He don't have to at all. But if you're saying that may be next, then why would you roll out the thing that's more harmful
Because he
first. And
can. What are you
right,
talking
you
about?
can, and you can also educate people. You can also take a better approach and be healthier. Just because General Mills does it, just because Fruit Loops makes it, bro, it does not make it right for Master P. You
Uh,
have, I said this a long time ago, and I firmly believe in this, and you stand on the opposite side of this. There's an obligation that you have to your people when you're the successful person. And that stands for family. That stands for even when you're on a big level like Jay-Z and Master P. I believe that. You believe differently, I see.
he's been doing that though. We act like P
I'm okay.
ain't a huge
It's a full
philanthropist.
time job, bro. It don't
He's
stop.
he been
You
doing that
can't
though.
tell me, oh well, I've been doing it. I can't just take a little break. No, we
He
ain't in
has.
position to do that. You told me to listen to the Dr. Umar on Nick Cannon the other day.
Yeah, that
It's
was
specifically
interesting.
what he was talking about. You don't have the opportunity like other people to take a break when you Master P. If you want to do this, you want to put your stuff out there, be part of the change to help people if you don't want the backlash, as opposed to peddling shit out there just like everybody else that got us in the position that we're in now.
I can sell whatever I want, if it's liquor, if it's
Yeah, you can.
water, if
But we
it's
talking
like
about the backlash though, bro.
where was the
You can't
backlash when
sell
niggas
it.
was selling liquor? Where was that at? What does liquor
It
do?
nobody backlash people for selling liquor.
Who?
That
When
came
did
out
that
all the time.
happen? Who the
I'm
fuck
not
is mad
sure.
at Jay-Z for pushing Ace of Spade, bro? Nobody. What are you talking about?
The same
I've never
backlash
heard
that
that.
P. It's not the majority, but it's probably the same percentage of people that are criticizing P and going to liquor as opposed like that. That's preventative as for sugar, diabetes. Alcoholism is a national thing. Like motherfuckers is gonna sell liquor. When you're talking about the number one of the top killers of African American people being diabetes, and you having an opportunity to educate people about that as opposed to putting something else on the market that will kill people, I don't understand the comparison you would make to alcohol.
My problem is people who are in line at Burger King commenting about P,
Why are you? But what does that have to
commenting
do
about
with
because people
Master
are
P though?
hypocrites, dude.
Okay,
Newsflash.
let people be hypocrites, bro. Why that doesn't prevent you from being a good person. Like people being hypocrites shouldn't curtail you from being a person that wants to make change in the world. Just
It
because
should.
people are gonna go do whatever they do anyway, that don't mean that you get to be a piece of shit.
No, no. What? Well, no. Not because people do what they want to do. It's because people do what they do, and then but when they see somebody else, they're holding them to a different standard than themselves.
That's
That's
people, and
horse shit.
that's people though. That's the
No, that's
expectation
horse
you get
shit.
when you become a millionaire though. When you run businesses, you know this. When you
People
run
do it. People do
businesses,
it minus
and
the millionaire shit, bro. They do it every day. They do it minus the millionaire shit. Stop.
well, I'm
Stop.
talking about
People not just
this.
hypocrites to millionaires, bro. They're hypocrites
That
to people next to them.
that's
Stop.
fine, but that's not the point. My point is when you are a millionaire, people are even more hypocritical. So when we're talking about the backlash that he's getting for this, is absolutely warranted because people are hypocrites. Yeah, they're gonna criticize Master P because he looks like them for doing, and they're gonna go buy Fruit Loops.
That's
So his
crazy.
decision is to say, well, do I want to help people or do I just want to make the money? And it
Sick
looks
of
like
these
he
niggas.
just wants to make the money, hence him being criticized.
Sick of these niggas.
Y'all
Don't
can
say
be.
nothing to me if you
That's
got
what you
Fruit Loops on
sign
top
up
of
for
you.
when you make $500 million. I will say it again. You sign up for this.
Absolutely not. Listen, y'all let us know on Facebook, man. Is the backlash that P is catching, is it warranted or is it fake outrage? Y'all let us know. Go to facebook.com, search for the group Rap Chat. That's us. We take the conversation off of the show. We want to hear what you guys have to say. We have a very dope topic. Speaking of
Absolutely.
Rap Chat, I think I'm mad
Somebody
I can't remember
suggested this.
specifically, but I think somebody in the Rap Chat, or it might have been Patreon, actually suggested this topic a couple of
Mhm.
weeks ago, and we had to get it together how we wanted to do it and do it proper. But shout out to that person. I'm mad I didn't. I thought I wrote the name down. It's my bad. You know who you are. Shout out to that on Decker. Triple salute. But we thought it would be dope to talk about album covers and kind of where they've gone and what made them dope to begin with, and fast forward and see if they're still relevant today. In your opinion, what was it about album covers back in the day that made them important?
It was the whole experience going through. Well, even before going through and picking it up in the media in the CD shop, it was flipping through the source and seeing the whole full page ad in the magazine, and you see 400 degrees coming soon, or you seen Mercedes coming soon, and you would see these and it have the dates there, and it was a driving force for the culture. Brand new CDs, and then on top of that, going to the record store, grabbing the CD, having the different aspects of picking it up, opening the booklet up, seeing who was on the inside of it, seeing what's coming next. Even the people, the youngsters that are listening may not know this. The rappers used to write the shout outs in the back, used to
Yep.
write to who and everybody, thank all the people for the album. And like all of that shit was exciting. Like all of that shit you would figure out because we didn't have as much access to artists back in the day as we did today. So you would figure out, oh, he knows such and such. Oh, this was recorded at Patchworks. Like being a hip hop just ingrained in the culture. Like those were the things that came with the album cover, the inside, the booklet, like the thing that caught your eye. Those were the most memorable things. You turned them into posters, had them hanging in your room. So for me, that's what the album cover meant. That was really like my introduction into hip hop in the golden age. Posters, album covers, booklets, CD, stuff like that. What about you?
Yeah, aside from the single, it was the only thing that you knew about the album. It was the cover. That was
Yeah.
it. So if the cover was fire, it added to the anticipation of the project. It had you more excited to get it. You know what I'm saying? I think about back in the day, you just gave the example, No Limit. I know we just got through talking about P present day, but let's take it back. When the smart marketing that he used is that when you did buy a CD and you opened it up, the first thing on the other side of the CD was an album cover of the next release.
Coming
That
soon.
had you just as excited as soon you hadn't even listened to the one you just bought and you're already excited for the next one because of the album cover that was right there coming soon. And so I think it played a big part. Album covers can tell stories too. I'll speak about it when we talk about our favorites. Album covers can tell stories, man, and like it just adds to the layers of the project as a whole. You go from the single to the album cover to the features. That's all you pretty much know before something dropped back then, at least before leaks and shit popped off. That's the only things you had to go off of. And if
Facts.
the album cover was fire, man, listen, my anticipation level just went through the roof. If I'm looking forward to that DMX debut album, or if I'm looking forward to that next No Limit album, that cover dope, man, this shit can't get here quick enough. February 12th can't get here fast enough. Like that's how
Facts.
it used to be back in the day. So album covers were a huge deal back in the day, in my opinion. We'll talk kind of how you feel they are today. Do you think they're still a big deal today?
I don't. I tell you what, besides the on deck that position this episode, it was looking at the 21 Savage and Metro Boomin, going back to the pen and pixel. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're a big deal when you do different stuff like that. Like if you do like that pen and pixel was of our era. So most kids don't. They're like, the fuck is this? Either they thought it was cool, they thought it was corny. But for us, it made me remember the CD. So I think if you're doing something different with it, then it can make an impact. But otherwise, it really doesn't, because you hardly ever. I mean, I guess when you save it on your phone, the icons right there, but I mean, it's really never a factor as to when you use that stuff.
I disagree with that though.
Tell me
I
what you
think
mean.
it's still relevant. I think only a few people know how to use them well. Um, like when it's used correctly, it's good for marketing. Like look at somebody like Drake. How many album
Reserve.
covers has he made that have become memes? That's huge for the brand. Like
Yeah.
he's mastered the art of making a memeable album cover in a digital
Facts.
age. So from Take Care to Views with him sitting on top of the Toronto thing, people had him moving, sitting on top of different shit. Uh, Nothing was the same with his head in the clouds. People took and put different heads in clouds and shit. Had Homer head in all that shit. Like if you're able to tap into that side of it, of the creative process, I think you can still your album cover can still be kind of relevant today. Now, does everybody do that? Obviously not. You know what I'm saying? And then who knows? There may be a machine behind Drake that makes the memes and puts them out into the universe that makes it cool or whatever. Who knows? I wouldn't put that behind no label, so you never know. But I think in that aspect, they're still relevant. And plus, if I'm scrolling through, I remember what was the not that piff. What was the other mixtape app we used to use, man?
Live mixtapes.
Live mixtapes. That's okay. That's one. It's Spinrilla. That's really what I
Spinrilla.
was. That's what I was thinking
Spinrilla.
of too.
Mhm.
Those two, I would scroll through. If your cover caught my attention, I'll check out the first three songs if I never heard of you. Look at Trinidad James. I remember when his cover came out, I said, dude, I got to hear what this nigga right here sound like.
I
I have
remember you.
to. He
Yeah.
looked like that. I have to hear what this sounds like, period. So you at least got a click out of me for a couple of songs, and I found that's how Dave East, his Black Rose cover caught my attention. I was like, what? Okay, what is this? Let me see. Let me hear what he's talking about. So I think it has that aspect, and I don't want people to. I don't want newcomers to sleep on that. Like if you make a dope album cover, you might catch somebody's attention scrolling through if they don't know your name. So that might still work. I don't know. You don't ever done that before. You ain't scrolled through and been like, oh, who the fuck? What is this?
Nah, for me, it's more so than the name of the album. If it's some interesting shit that I feel like, well, where did that come from? Then I may check that out. If I had some street shit that I feel like, oh, okay, I wonder what he talking about on this. But
that's true.
When going back to the Dat Piff Live mixtapes days, at that point we were on phone, so it was like it had died out for me. Like I said, for me, it was more so the physical. Like even now buying vinyls. Like that's I like it because of like I got Pretty Girls Love Trap Music. The vinyl's pink, the album cover's fire, like
the whole packaging.
UGK Riding Dirty, like it's a clear vinyl, like you can see through it. That shit's fire. And for me, it's the more of the physical thing. Like once it got out of going to actually pick it up, having that piece of paper, looking through it, folding it, it wasn't as big for me.
Hey, that's one thing we lost, because the CD graphic used to be different. A lot of times that would be different from the cover. Yeah. And that shit would it'd be like almost you had two covers. Something like that shit would be dope.
You had a CD graphic and you're looking at like Pac had the eyes on there and shit.
Yeah.
That shit was fire. He had the red and the blue CD.
I missed that. Yeah. We just did the Big Timers review. We know the Big Timers albums by the color of the CD.
Yeah. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? The 400 degrees was the same as the cover, but it shit just looked good.
Yeah, it looked dope though. Yeah. So like that kind of hurts, man. But enough of the washed up. We sound like two washed.
People don't know what the fuck we talking about.
Yeah, niggas born in 95. Like, bro, what are y'all talking about?
Who? What album covers?
Now let's talk album covers. Exactly. Let's talk album covers, man. Top 5, and it ain't got to be in no order. And these don't even necessarily have to be the best. Just your personal
favorites.
Favorite. Like what? Give me a couple of them and why.
First one, mine are earlier because, like I said, it's more so the physical for me. So one very first one, I remember seeing this album cover and being fucking scared shitless. I didn't even think it was real. And that album cover is the Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Bushwick Bill had got shot in the eye. They had him going in the fucking hospital room. He was in the hospital gown. Scarface was on one side, Willie D's on the other side. I think James Prince may have been in there too. But and the backstory behind it, it's a real picture. Bushwick Bill had gotten an argument with his girlfriend who shot him in the eye. And even before this, if you know the history of Bushwick Bill, I do like thanks to that Netflix show that I kept mentioning back in the day. But it was just talking about he used to be like on that 3-6 shit type of rap. Like the devil horror rap,
horrorcore, dark type
horrorcore, exactly. So this was like the first thing mainstream, like street like that he was doing, and just the come and the impact like that shit shook me as a young lad. I think I was maybe 10. I was like, what in the fuck?
Yeah,
I always remember Ghetto Boys, and they had the song Mind Playing Tricks on Me too, which was an equally scary ass video. And I think that was one of the first rap songs that I learned the words to because I was so scared of that shit.
Yeah,
terrifying, nigga.
Yeah. I'm gonna take mine back too, and I'm cheating because this is pre-93. And we rarely go before 93, but this album cover is too fire. It's Ice Cube Death Certificate. Album cover is super hard. It's got the dude underneath the American flag, like instead of in the coroner's office, underneath the American flag with the toe tag that say Uncle Sam. Hard, nigga. Like Cube been on that wave. Like everything that he's on right now, I know he's looking like the angry black man right now, but he's angry because he's been going through this for the last 30 years at least. He's been trying to tell y'all. Thanks. So I thought that album cover spoke volumes. Again, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think you look at that, you can break it down in different pieces. You don't need to say anything. It speaks for itself. I've never really been the biggest Ice Cube fan musically. That's a little bit before my time, just a little bit. But I always had respect for him, and I always had respect for the statements that he made. And I thought that cover was a big statement piece, man. So that Death Certificate album cover is complete flames.
I like that.
Classic.
Facts. Next for me, same era, but like a couple years later, this album was equally as good when we talk about the greatest hip hop albums of all time. And for me, this one is Snoop Doggy Doggy Style, the
Hmm.
comic book. And I got a reason why I picked all of these, why they're some of my favorites. And the Ghetto Boys, because it scared the shit out of me for this one. As a kid, I remember seeing this album cover and I seen the What's My Name Snoop Dogg video with him turning into the dog. It was almost like this was marketed to kids. Like Snoop was almost like a comic book character. Like that was one of the reasons. And my mom was younger. So she wasn't very strict on you can't listen to this and you can't listen to this shit. I could listen to some stuff in her car. With that being said, she was never hard on me about having a Snoop album because the album looked like a cartoon, even though it had an ass on there, but it was a dog. And then
Yeah,
you see the
true.
video on MTV, he turned it into a dog. It looks playful and friendly. I remember getting that album, having that, seeing the cover, and just thinking it all fit together, even as a young age, and seeing that rollout as being brilliant as far as that cover being perfect for that artist. I think that that was a great job. So I definitely got to go with Snoop Dogg Doggy Style.
Yeah, no, that's a fire ass, obviously classic ass album cover, and that just made me think about when you said it was marketed to kids. That made me think about the podcast that we talked about last week
Mm-hmm.
about the prison.
Mm,
Did you listen to it?
I did. It was really good.
And they talked about that so-called meeting of the
Yeah,
minds to promote gangster rap to black co. So you
kids.
saying that it appeals to kids, slick kind of fits into that narrative,
That
whether
narrative does.
whether you believe it or not.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying, so that's just interesting. I just thought about that. The next one I have, I'm gonna keep it 90s. This is no, I got two more in the 90s. I'm gonna keep it 90s. I'm gonna go Nas Illmatic.
Mm.
We talked about this when we talked about Nas getting inducted into the On Deck Hip Hop Hall of Fame. His young face in the forefront of the picture with Queensbridge projects in the background. It basically says I'm a product of my environment and I'm about to paint you this picture of what it's like growing up in this neighborhood and where I'm from. And that's exactly what the album did, which is why it's a classic or considered a classic amongst hip hop heads. I think the album cover should also be considered a classic. I said this before, but countless albums since then have had either the baby picture or the young kid picture on the front. You can thank that Nas Illmatic for that, which came out slightly before the Biggie album. I just thought it was dope, man. When you look at it, it's been parodied 1,000 times. But you put the face, you just got the young kid face with the projects, and it's like it's mixed in just right so you can see both of them clear. Like it's a fire ass cover. It's a classic, 93, 94. You can't beat that, man. It's a dope ass cover.
Has there ever been a story that came out about Big and Nas and that whole how similar those album covers were during the
Man,
same
that's a
time
good
period?
question.
I would
That's a good
love to hear.
question.
I
I don't
know
know.
that there's a New York nigga with a backstory to that. Like I bet one of them thought the other one had it first. I know that there's a good story to that.
It's a New York
So you
nigga
gotta,
right in the barbershop right now telling that story, and he
son.
tells it every
I
week.
remember that week, son. Both of them had the covers, son. My man Nas was like, "Nah, I'm gonna drop my shit now, son."
Nigga Biggie was hot. He was
Big
pissed
was
about
still,
this shit, son.
Puff, he fucking perfectionist. He wouldn't let him drop. But yeah, I definitely, that's a real good. I would love to know the backstory for that. And my next one is kind of in the same vein, though it's not the child picture. I remember when I seen this CD cover, it was everything that I was looking for, but it was so simple. And the reason that I say this, when people were talking about this guy, when this CD came out, they were saying that he was the Jay-Z of the South. Now, if you're the Jay-Z of the South, you remember Volume 2, Jay-Z was on the Beamer, had the suit on, and he was looking like a New York nigga he looked like a ghost. You know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
saying? That's what you're looking for. When you're talking about down south and a nigga like Jay-Z, you're talking about T.I., you're talking about the trap music cover. Being from down south, when a nigga say this the Jay-Z of the South, that's how I want the nigga to look. With the hat cock right there, with the t-shirt on, with the pants sagging. It felt like I knew that nigga. Like that was my cousin, or that was a nigga that I knew. Hey, snap this flick real quick for the album cover. I love it. It's simple, like you said, with the Nas, but it says so much, and it represented a class or a fan that really hadn't been addressed yet until, in my opinion, T.I.
Mm,
came out. You had Outkast, you had Goody Mob, you had the different Atlanta aspects, you had different people from the South, but I feel like T.I. was the first person to dress in a certain form of lifestyle and rapping about it from that perspective heavily. And I won't necessarily say trap music, but I'm just saying just that thought process, the representation of niggas like him. There, it wasn't heavy in the South, and to see him standing on the album cover in front of the bando with the hat cocked to the side, like it was everything that I was looking for as a T.I. fan from his second release. So I got to go with T.I. trap music for my next one.
Yeah, I ain't mad about that, man. There's a lot of album covers that got kind of that portrait, that face to the side, portrait look. That's a fire. It speaks about you. You got the A-Town hat on, you know what I'm saying? Like you repping where you from. Like it's able to say things without having to be vocal about it. So yeah, that shit was dope.
Facts.
Yeah. My last one in the 90s, I couldn't leave here without a No Limit album. I had to go Master P Last Dawn, even though there was a ton I could have went with. Pen and Pixel was killing shit. This was supposed to be P's last album. It was marketed as his retirement album, so it was a double disc. That was already a big deal. But when I got to the store, got the CD, and saw that it was 3D, and you could move it in there, he would move the P, man, bruh. Take my money now, nigga. I thought that was the dopest, coolest shit of all time when that came out. I got to give it to him. That's a classic album cover. P was on top of the world. That probably ran him an extra bag. It didn't matter. He knew what it was going to do. I think it ended up going 2, 3, 4 times platinum. The cover, in my opinion, added to that. It's the appeal. That's something that I promise you, bro. If people weren't even just on P like that and they was in Media Play or Best Buy or Circuit City and you walk past that cover, it's a 3D cover, you have to at least grab it and see what the fuck it is. What's going on?
True.
You have to. I don't know.
It looked like it was worth $30 that you was about to spend for another CD.
It was a premium album cover. You know what I'm saying? It was a double CD. So, back in the day, they was smacking niggas for the double CD. $30 easy. Yeah. So, like, you were justified in getting it. You felt like you were getting, like an artifact or a piece of hip hop. You thought you was getting your money's worth. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely made it worth it.
Yeah, that's my last one in the 90s. But that P cover was fire. I could have easily went with a couple of other ones, but that's probably my favorite No Limit cover today. That changes.
My next one is the T.I. was, like I said, a representation of what I want to see from the South. The Ghetto Boy scared the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. This one was just being a young perv. And we talked about, we talked about, what is it, Mac? What was the CD place? The Columbia House?
Yes, where you ordered the 12 CDs for a penny. Yep.
Too Short Cocktails. I was going through the Columbia House, Mag, and I'm like, man, what is this? I got that. Just let me take a look at this, pull it in close. All right, I'm ordering this. 12 CDs for a penny. This got to be one of my CDs just because there's 3 naked bitches in cocktail glasses on the front.
Let me get that.
But knew very little of Too Short when I was putting myself into bad credit and ordering these CDs and not paying for them. But I knew, looking at the album cover of this, that I wanted to know what he was talking about and what he had going on. And needless to say, I had to keep that seat. That was one of the few that I did have to keep away from my mom, because she definitely didn't want to hear what Too Short was talking about on Cocktails. And I couldn't play that one in the car. But I do remember that being one of my favorite CD covers, and me just copping it and being, to this day, I like Too Short. Like I'm getting it was one of my favorite songs of all time. Love it. Yep. And Too Short, my guy, based off solely ordering this out of that magazine, seeing the 3 hoes on there in the cocktail glasses. That was it.
Yeah, Columbia House got a lot of niggas in trouble, including my damn self. My mama intercepted that shit like Dion. She was like, nigga, what do you think you listening to?
Send them straight over grandmama house. Nigga.
Nice try.
You got a package over here. I don't know why. I just sit it to the side. I'll be over there to get it. Appreciate you.
Nigga, yeah, that Too Short album. I forgot about that one. That's a plus. Let me take it into the 2000s, man. I'm going Yo Boy. I'm going 2 Chainz, based on a true story. 2 Chainz going off of his reinvention of himself, going from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz, leaving DTP, going to a solo artist on Def Jam. Late in his career, this debut album, 2 Chainz was well into his 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like when rap was supposed to have an age limit, but like he broke that. And with this cover, he's got the Versace style jacket, which kind of matches his style, with the 2 Chainz, the 2 Cuban links laying over top the black tee. It was clean. It was it was 2 Chainz. Like I thought it
2
was a nice
Chainz.
double entendre, a nice play on his name and the album cover. They didn't overthink it. They didn't try to do this big elaborate. No, let's keep it plain, simple, and let's just have the 2 Chainz, the clean chains laying over the black tee with the fly ass jacket. I thought that was perfect. Like, bro,
Okay.
that's a perfect way to reintroduce yourself. Again, speaking it without having to say it. Very clean album cover. I've always been a fan of that cover and album too. Based on the True Story was fire.
Love
So
that
I
album.
always thought 2 Chainz was dope with the rollout. You mentioned the Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. That rollout and album cover was dope too. And so he's always had an eye for that. I think students of the game pay attention to stuff like that, bro. Like even if it may not matter the same, they still need that shit to be crispy. They needed to make sense. They needed to say something. I think 2 Chainz is one of them people.
I agree with that. My next one would be
So
my
last one,
guy. Yeah, my last one.
gotcha.
Kung Fu Kenny, Good Kid, Mad City. I feel like the van one, or even the one where he's sitting there on his daddy lap.
Yeah.
Either one of those covers was perfect for that
That
CD.
was hard.
Like that's just fucking perfection.
That was hard.
I know Section 80 was the first release, but this being his first commercial release, and that being the album cover, and then putting the album in, and it all tying in like that shit is fucking amazing. Just another testament to how great that album, that project, that whole situation was when he came out with the Good Kid, Mad City. I love that album cover. You could get that on a t-shirt and people know exactly what's going on and what you're saying. So that for me, that picture, the Polaroid, turning it into that, I fucking love it.
And it looked good on vinyl too, blown up.
Oh,
it looked good on vinyl. That shit look good as hell on. I
You
ain't
could
even got no
almost
record
frame
player.
Yeah, you can almost frame it, motherfucker. Just put it
I ain't even got no record player, and I walk through the mall or something, or walk through somewhere, and I see that vinyl. I'm like, damn, that motherfucker just the cover is hard. Just sit that shit on the
take
in
my
room somewhere.
$29.99 exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. What's ironic is my last one is Kung Fu Kenny as well, but it's To Pimp a Butterfly. Y'all know I'm not a
finally
big fan.
put some respect on that.
Not just the cover though, guys, not the album. The album is a coaster. The cover is fire.
Maybe you'll get to the classic album later.
Absolutely not. Saving the worst for last, people. Kendrick To Pimp a Butterfly cover is super dope. Got the niggas posing in front of the White House steps with the alcohol, the money stacks, just all hood shit. The hood is taking over the White House. That's basically what it is. I loved it. Thought it was very symptomatic of kind of like the album itself. Too bad the production didn't do anything for me on the album. I would like it a little more, but the cover, just the black and white cover, niggas done invaded the White House lawn. Like we coming in, we about to take over. I love the cover. The cover is fire. Always been a admirer of the cover, and Kendrick covers to begin with. I like all of his shit to be fly to me, man. Like even if you look at Damn
fire too. Like
Damn
that was another
dope.
memeable one, like you said. People were using that as a meme. That's fire.
It was a plane, but it was memeable, man. There's always just something about it. It's just his stuff works, and maybe that's the hold up. Maybe him and Top Dog can't agree on the cover. Maybe that's why we ain't got an album in 3 fucking years, dude. Just pick a cover, guys. Pick a goddamn cover. Let's get this album out. Let's get some new music pumping in this 4th quarter, please.
When you put out when you start out the gate with 4 classics, you know you can take your time.
Oh my god,
you can take your time, man. You
guys.
take your time.
That
was it.
Okay. I didn't know if you had any bonus ones or nothing, because I didn't. I was just gonna say if you had some bonus ones.
I didn't. Only now because I had Master P the Last Don on mine, and you got that one, so I got all the ones that I wanted in pretty much. And we spoke on the Pen and Pixel, so I think that. Do you think that they can make a comeback? Because you know that they went out of business.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they came out of retirement for this 21 Savage. I don't know if it's
website
enough.
Shit cracking though. Right, you can go to their website right now and see all the projects they're working on. I went and looked on it when they dropped this album and shit. They got a website and shit with Pen and Pixel on them.
They need to be able to put their shit on t-shirts. Now, if they own the rights to the covers, that's what they need to be doing. They need to be a t-shirt company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder who owns the licensing to that. Is that the artist? Or is that the record label? Is that
probably the label?
The cover people.
Or probably whoever owned the rights to that album. I doubt it's the cover people. They sign shit. They get a bag for that to let that go. They don't own that shit. Yeah. But it'll be dope. Y'all let us know, man. What's some of y'all favorite album covers? Matter of fact, give us your top 5. Give us your top 5 on IG at OndeckTV Podcast. Give us your top 5 on Facebook in the rap chat. Let us know what your favorite. It ain't gotta be the best, just what personally is your favorite. Let's get to some wins and some losses. We have a W to my guy Killer Mike for launching an online bank, Greenwood Bank, black owned, very dope. How you feel about him launching a bank, man?
I'm looking forward to doing more research about it.
Mm.
You told me there was an interview where somebody was pressing him pretty thoroughly on this, right?
Yeah, they were kind of questioning him
What
in
was that
terms
on?
of why now, what's the difference between this bank and other things, and how do you make money? And they were just kind of just digging into it, like trying to get some,
Did he
doing
give
some
you
investigative reporting.
were they substantial answers for your taste?
Yeah, he didn't know everything because, to be fair, he's not the only person that's a part of this. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm,
him and three other people. He's not going to be over all aspects of the bank. He's
right. He's just the
he's more or
face of it,
less
really.
bringing
Pretty
pub
much.
to it.
He's an
Uh,
ambassador.
well, I mean, he's owner too, like, but
Mhm.
he's more the mouthpiece, pause, for the bank. But I'm gonna tell you what though, when he was on his Bank Black movement a year, 2, 3 years ago, I had always meant to get an account because you're supposed to have more than one account anyway. Like, I wanted to get an account with a black bank and I never did that. So I signed up for the Greenwood Bank, and it launches formally in January. So there's a wait list, so to speak. When I signed up, my number in line is number 26,594. So that is how many people have signed up so far, apparently, ahead of me
That's
at least.
crazy.
So that's a lot of motherfuckers. But
It's
I,
too. I think you got too much access to banking and too many different options to make people wait. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I mean, that's true, but to be fair, it's not as if it's my first bank account. So it more than likely will be people's secondary, or you got an LLC or some shit, or a savings account or something. Like, that's more than likely what that'll be. But they're just trying to get the ball rolling and build some excitement around it, man. But they're gonna do big
Makes
things,
sense.
though. I think so.
I'm fully supportive of it. I definitely want to see that.
Speaking of big things, we got a W to Polo G. The Chicago rapper announced that his new feature price is 85K. And get it now before it goes up. Are you justifying that 85K feature for Polo G?
He from Chicago?
Yes.
Yes. I'm
Mm.
Them Chicago niggas is different, man. King, if he getting 85, King Von probably getting 125.
What?
Uh, facts. King Von, the
Nah.
hottest nigga in the streets right now. You'd sleep.
I like him though. I like King Von. He nice.
Chicago shit different, man. These niggas is different. Like, I recently found out that G Herbo was only 25 this weekend when the nigga had a
Yeah.
birthday. That's
I'm
fucking
surprised he's that old, bro.
really.
He been on
I
he been
thought
on since he was 16.
I thought that nigga was in his 30s, man.
Nah, bro. Young boy.
So I say all that to say Chicago niggas different, and I will not dispute Polo G's feature price. These niggas, man, they had the little story up there, how it started, how it ended, been trending on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
And they showed that the tweet of that little nigga that was beefing with, man, I think it was King Von or one of them Chicago real ratchet killer rapper ass niggas, and he tweeted at him like, nigga, one of the niggas tweeted at him, nigga, you a pussy, I'm outside, pull up. And then it had like the date that he tweeted that, and then it had the news headline of him dying the same day.
Wow.
Like,
Man,
I think it might have been Lil Reese he was talking to. He was talking to Lil Reese, I think. And then the nigga was like, how it started, how it ended. And they put that tweet up there. Then they had the news clipping from later on that night with a nigga popping them. So Chicago niggas can have whatever they want for the feature.
They on some other shit, man.
Facts, man.
One more L to hand out to Kanye West's sampling skills. Shaka Khan was just recently interviewed. She said she hated what Kanye did to her voice on Through the Wire. Of course, he sampled her classic Through the Fire in that sped up soul sample style from the early 2000s, man. Are you, well, you think that she
Old
was
people
wrong for?
always trip. Yeah, I think old people always trip on samples. Ronald Isley told a story one time of how he wouldn't let any hip hop people use his voice for a sample until he like got, I can't remember what song he said it was, but it was some hip hop song that he said that once he heard it and heard what they were trying to do, he was a lot more open to it. But old people always like standoffish with the sample and shit. I don't understand that, nigga. I'm gonna pay you. Take this little check.
No, I don't think it's about to pay though. It's they deep on the art of it, and to hear it sped up like a chipmunk and shit. That shit was cool to us, but to her, it's killing the integrity of her vocals. Like, she bodied the shit, and you just turned me into a chipmunk.
That's fair.
So it's
These
like,
niggas is fucking with that chipmunk though. Take that check, baby.
hey, yo, B, They fucking with the chipmunk
The
sound,
chipmunks
ma.
is rocking, ma. Sit back and take these checks.
Hey man, on deck of the week goes to, we're going to Patreon. We got another subscriber. Super shout out to Maurice H. Good looking. Even left a couple of comments on some records, on some album reviews that we did. I guess it would have been good for me to read those. My bad, I didn't pull them up.
That would have
But
been nice.
shout out to Maurice H, man, the latest Patreon subscriber. We got some big news about Patreon in just a second. But triple salute to you, my guy.
Facts.
What you got to put me on?
Last week we talked about the two podcasts. The one that was about the hip hop and the criminal justice system, and the other one with Lupe and Royce, the Lupe and Royce show. Checked out both of them.
Okay.
Put you on the hip hop one last week. The one for this week, fam, I was thoroughly entertained by all three episodes of Ed Royce and Lupe.
Wow.
I binged it. When I'm listening to podcasts, I'm not really listening for structure. I'm just looking for free-flowing conversation. People just bouncing shit off each other and see where it goes. These niggas did that shit perfectly. Man, they had a conversation about music. They had another conversation about Lupe stealing the door off a bando in Detroit. And it's just like, it's good. Like, you can tell that these niggas are friends and enjoying themselves, but they're not too cordial with each other, where it's like, I don't just want to hear these niggas talk. Like, at one point in time, Lupe was telling the story, and just to give you a sample, Royce was like, "Oh, I don't use my brakes," and Lupe was thoroughly shocked. It's like, well, fam, why would you say that? Like, why would you put the people of Detroit in danger like that? Like, you just running through red lights? Like, how does that even, like, he was thoroughly like shocked and inquisitive about Royce just throwing a throwaway bar out there about not using brakes, and then Royce doubled down and like, yeah, my nigga, I just be flying. I don't never use a brake. So they just have a good dynamic of going back and forth, man. I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of conversation, but it's not gonna be for everybody too. I know one of the young deckers hit me up and was telling me about it. He said it sounded like a word salad. So I mean, if you ain't fucking with the word salads, then you might not like that. But I like word salads, man. So I'm here for the Lupe and Royce show.
Oh shit,
Word
that's
salad.
funny as fuck.
Shout
I'm
out
gonna check it out.
Got it, man.
I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm gonna put you on to something that just came out, but I haven't watched it yet. But I will be watching this week, and I'm gonna report back to let y'all know if it's worth checking out. Charm City Kings, featuring Meek Mill. It's a movie on HBO. Thumbs up.
Facts.
I wanted to check,
but it's definitely watchable.
It's watchable. Okay, I wanted to see it when they showed the preview. It's supposed to come out in theaters. Obviously, COVID threw a monkey wrench in that. It's produced by Will and Jada. So I wanted to see what it was hitting on. I'm glad it got picked up and put out by HBO. So I'm gonna check it out though. You saying it's good? That's what's up. I'm glad
it was good. Now it's
cool. You just gave me the two thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I gave you one. It's one thumbs up. But it's a cool date. Like if you and your wife about to watch it, it's cool for that. Like, don't look at to take intrigue. Don't take nothing intriguing away from about it. But it's exactly what you expect it to be. Like from the start to finish, it's exactly what you expect it to be. He did okay. He was Meek Mill. Now he played Meek Mill.
So he could play Meek Mill, but you looking like he couldn't play nobody else though.
No.
Okay. Like he couldn't play like a lawyer.
No. Okay. This character was 100% for Meek Mill, and this ain't like giving away or nothing. He worked in a body shop, like he was a mechanic. Okay. You know what I mean, he looked
for like the motorcycles and shit, right?
Yeah, he was like a dirty Philly nigga in the Dickies jumpsuit. That's what he looked like. Shout out my Philly niggas, man. But Meek Mill looked like he looked when he was growing up. I didn't know Meek Mill was that tall. How tall is he? This nigga was towering over people in that. I don't know if it was all midgets in there or what, but he was like tall as fuck.
He might have had the platform Timbs on.
Oh man, he definitely had the Timbs with the work jumpsuit on.
That's what I'm saying.
I think you'll enjoy it though. It's definitely it was good to see Meek in that space. It's one of those like feel good movies, like one of those coming of age stories about a group of friends and how they grow up one summer.
They in Baltimore,
cool.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The accents are cringeworthy, like that shit crazy, and like it's like. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, because you about to spoil it.
I was just gonna leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. Right?
You about to blow it. Hey, listen, we talked about Patreon earlier. Do us a favor, patreon.com/realveal, October 18th. October 18th, we are relaunching Patreon with brand new tiers from each show on the network. There will be bonus content from each show. That means FSP got a brand new show on there. That means Fresher Than Your Average got a brand new show on there. That means we got even more fire reviews coming on there, more throwback shits for y'all. And we talking movies and TV. We even got a brand new movie podcast. I'm telling you, check it out. Patreon.com/RealVille. The link is in the description. Hit that, select your tier, and support the real, man. And we appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that, man. 100% need that Patreon support. You guys get on there, show us some love, subscribe, tell your friends about it.
Absolutely, man. Hey, until the next time, we out.
Chill.